very pleased that I can present you the film that I enjoyed myself very much in Berlin during the Berlinale. I was very surprised. I'd enjoyed it because for a long time I didn't enjoy any film as much as, as I did enjoy this.
I do remember those times. I was 9 when communism collapsed, and it was very important for me to talk about those times. You know, it was impossible for me to talk about politics because by that time I was not involved with the politics because of my age. But I remember pictures and, you know, like I still have this sensation in me from those time. And that's why, you know, like as a grown man, I started to think about my parents, how their life had to be those times because they grew up in the communistic system. And that's why, you know, those memories brought me to this script, and that's why I wanted to place the action in those times, actually.
Because I spoke to Tomek right after the screening in Berlin, and I asked him, why did he set the story in the 90s, beginning of the 90s? Because it could happen now. No problem with that, there's no politics in the film. And then he was telling me about his parents, that he was 9, the same thing that he's saying right now. But I understood as a filmmaker that he needed to gain the distance to the story. He needed to somehow separate himself from this.
As you said, from the emotional side, from the characters, this movie could take place nowadays. Because I truly believe that no matter if it's now or it was 1990 or it was 1900, people were in love, people hurt. Like, we're human beings, we feel. But what it's different, what I think it's different, that the choices my characters of the movie had in 1990 and they would have nowadays. And you know, when I was writing the script, I remembered this situation because like I grew up in the city like this. When I was writing it, I got this memory from my childhood, and I realized that, you know, I was 16 when I first met a friend from my high school who was from the broken family. And for me, I remember this, I was in her house that time, and you know, like for me it was like a movie. Watching a movie, I didn't know what to do, what to say to her. So I was walking around her apartment, her parents' apartment, like her father's apartment, and I was like looking at it, trying to find something different that it was like from the houses I know from my life. And back then, in this reality I grew up, there were no divorces. It was very traditional community, very closed community. And you know, like I thought that my parents are the happiest people in the world. They are not true stories. But what I wanted to do to go inside, you know, to those concrete blocks and think what could have happened then. For me, from the beginning, it was very clear that I'm gonna tell the story through women's eyes, because, you know, like my father, in 1990, he left Poland to Western country to work, just like husband of Marzena. So, you know, like I saw this transformation time through my mother's and my older sister's eyes, you know, and in my home, there were like always my mother's friends and my sister friends, only women in those times. So for me, it was natural to show this perspective, because this is the transformation for me, transformation of Poland.